Hello and welcome back to the course on algorithms. In the last class, we have talked about dynamic programming. In particular, we have seen an example of a problem which can be solved by dynamic programming, namely the coin exchange problem. In this class, we will look at another example to understand the technique. The example here is called 01 knapsack problem. So, in this problem, you are given n items. Each item comes up with a integer weights and also each item has a value associated with it, right? And you are given a knapsack of size W. The objective here is to pick some items so that the weight of the items that you pick fits into the knapsack, and you want to maximize the value of the items that you're picking. A good example could be that just imagine that a thief has come to your house and you want to steal few items. He has a limit on the total weight of the items that he can carry. So he wants to choose some items so that when he sells it in the market, he makes a maximum amount of money. So, but he is not allowed to take a fraction of the item. He can either pick an item or he uh, does not pick the item. So, more formally, we have WIs, which is the weight of the ith item, and we have uh, V of I, which is the value of the ith item. So, we want to have a binary variable associated with each of these items. Let us say x of I. So, x of I will be 0 if I do not pick the item. This will be 1 if you pick the item. So, this is generally called as a Boolean variable. So, we want to set the values of x of I to be 0 or 1 such that we want to maximize the value of the items that we pick. That means that we want to maximize the summation of x of I into V of I. Say V of I is the value of the ith item. If you pick the ith item, we can make a profit of V of I, and if you don't pick the ith item, so that V of I don't contribute to the profit that you can make. So, with the condition that the sum of the weights of the items that you are picking, right, that is x of I into Wi is the weight of the item. This should be smaller than or equal to given size of the knapsack, which is denoted by W. Let's look at one example. You're given the items, it has both value and weights as seen here, and the weight here essentially means that weight of the first item is 2, weight of the second item is 1, weight of the third item is 3, weight of the fourth item is 2, and the corresponding values are given on the right hand side. So, we want to pick these items. Let us say that the size of the knapsack could be 5 in this case, right, or it could be 4. So, depending on the size of the knapsack, you have to pick some items so that the value of the items that you pick is maximum, but the total weight of the items that you pick should be smaller than or equal to size of the knapsack that is given to you. So, one immediate thing could be that to think of could be the greedy algorithm. Unfortunately, for the 01 knapsack problem, the greedy algorithm does not give you the optimum value. There is a fractional knapsack problem where you are allowed to pick the fraction of an item. So, for the fractional knapsack problem, considering the values in the ratio profit by weight in the increasing order will give us the optimum solution. Whereas, for the 01 knapsack problem, the greedy algorithm will not give you the optimum solution. I will leave it as an homework to figure out an example where the greedy algorithm fails to compute the optimum correctly for the 01 knapsack problem. So, more interestingly, this problem, the 01 knapsack problem is known to be NP-hard. In other words, for a general general inputs, there is no polynomial time algorithm known to solve the 01 knapsack problem. But in some special case, we will design efficient algorithms based on the dynamic programming to solve the knapsack problem. Let us look at the first formulation of the knapsack problem. As defined earlier, in order to use the dynamic programming setting, so what we have to define is what is known as the state, right. In this case, we will define the state as v of I comma j, which is defined as the the maximum profit that we can make, right. So, if I am allowed to consider only the first I items and the size of the knapsack that is given to me is j. So, the state here is v of I comma j, right. So, what is the definition of v comma I comma j? I am allowed to consider only the first I items and I am given a knapsack of size j. If that is the case, what is the maximum profit that I can make, right? It's easy to see what is the initialization for this. If I have to initialize this, if I am just allowed to use only the first item, let's say, so that is v of 1 comma j, right. So, if I am given a knapsack of size j and if I am allowed to use only the first items, then there are two cases. So, if the size of the knapsack that is given to me is greater than or equal to weight of the knapsack, weight of the first item, that is j is greater than or equal to W1, in that case I can make a profit of V1. If the j is smaller than W1, so that means that the size of the knapsack that is given to me is smaller than the weight of the first item. That means that I cannot pick the first item into the knapsack. In that case, the profit that I can make is 0. So, this is the initial state of the dynamic programming, and we will try to fill the table as seen in the uh, case of coin exchange problem. So, what we are going to do is that we are going to fill the table here. So, we know how to fill the first column here. So, till certain stage it is going to be 0. After that I can make a profit of V of 1, right. So, this point is basically our W1. If you give me a size of the knapsack which is smaller than the size smaller than the size of the first item, then I cannot pick that item. In that case, the value of the item will be 0. But if you give me a knapsack whose weight is greater than the weight of the first item, I will pick this first item into the knapsack. Now, the idea is simple. So, if I am given the ith item, so as seen in the coin exchange problem, we have two options, either to pick the ith item, or if I decided to not to pick the ith item, then I have to fill the knapsack with the remaining I minus 1 items, right. So, if I decided to pick the ith item, I straight away make a profit of V of I, right. So, this will be, or the recursion that I am going to get will be V of I plus V of I plus, so the remaining knapsack should be filled with uh, the remaining I minus 1 items. So, the equation that I get will be V of I minus 1, right. So, I cannot use the same item again. So, this will be I minus 1 comma. So, I will be left with a knapsack of size j minus Wi, right. So, if I am allowed to pick the ith item, the equation that I get is that I get a profit of V of I, and I have to fill the remaining size of the knapsack is j minus Wi, but I have to pick the rest of the items from the I minus 1 items. Notice that you are allowed to pick an item only at most once, either you pick it or you do not pick it. If you pick the item, you can't pick it again in the future iterations. That is why we write here I minus 1. This is allowed only if the size of the knapsack that I have is greater than the size of the ith item. This option is available to me only if j is greater than or equal to Wi. So, if I am allowed to not to pick the ith item, if I decided not to pick the ith item, then the entire knapsack should be filled with I minus 1 items. So, the recursion that I get will be, in that case, will be V of I minus 1 and comma j, V of I minus 1 comma j. So in general, so my objective is to maximize the profit that I get. So I will get the recursion as v of I comma j to be maximum of two quantities. So one is v of I minus 1 comma j. This is when I don't pick the ith item, or v of I minus 1 comma I minus 1 comma j minus wi, because if I pick the ith item, this will occupy uh, wi space in my knapsack. So I will be left with a knapsack of size j minus wi. But notice that this option is available to me only if my j is greater than or equal to wi, right. So if the ith item, when I consider if the size of the knapsack that I have is greater than or equal to wi, then I have the option to pick that item and put it into my knapsack. So the recursion, the way we are going to fill the table is v of I comma j is defined as the maximum of v of I minus 1 comma j and v of I minus 1 comma j minus wi. So the important steps to notice here is that what is the most important thing is to define this, what is the table that we want to use here. We call this as the state of the dynamic programming. In this case, this happens to be v of I comma j, where v of I comma j denotes the maximum profit that I can make if I am given a knapsack of size j and I am allowed to use only the first I items. It's easy to initialize, which is v of 1 comma j. This will be v of 1 if I am given a size of the knapsack which is greater than or equal to the weight of the first item, otherwise it's 0. And in general, we can write that v of I comma j. We have two options, either to pick the ith item or you don't pick the ith item. If you have decided to pick the not to pick the ith item, then we have to fill the entire knapsack j using I minus 1 items. So in that case, we get the equation as v of I minus 1 comma j. But if you have decided to pick the ith item, then we have already made a profit of v of I. So the equation that I am going to get is v of I plus v of I minus 1 comma j minus wi, right. So since I have picked the ith item, I make a profit of v of I, and I use a space of wi in the knapsack. So in future, I can only use a knapsack of size j minus wi. So the final answer in this case will be, since I am given n knapsacks, the size of the knapsack is n. Sorry, the n is the number of items that are given, so I am allowed to use all the n items, and the size of the knapsack that is given to me is w. So the total, so the final answer will be v of n comma w. So I fill the first row, and then using the first row we can fill the rest of the table, and v of n comma w will be the final answer. Let's look at this for the specific example that we have, right. So let's look at, so what's in the row, we have the size of the table here, and what we have in the here is the items. So the items goes from 1 to 4, and so what is shown here is the size of the knapsack. The first item has a weight of 2 and the value of that item is 12. So if I am given a knapsack of size strictly smaller than 2, then I can't pick the first item. So if I am given a knapsack of size 1, so then the profit that I can make if I am allowed to use only the first item is 0. But if the moment you give me a knapsack of size at least 2, then I can pick the first item. So I will certainly make a profit of 12. So for all the knapsacks size greater than or equal to 12, the profit that I can make is 12. Now let's consider the second item. The second item, when we consider, so the weight of that item is 1. So I can straight away pick that item. So I get a profit of 10, right. So when if I am given a size of the knapsack 2, and if I have to decide whether to pick the first item or second item, so what I do, if I don't consider the second item, then I will end up picking only the first item. So considering the first item, so if I am given a size of the knapsack 2, then if I don't pick the second item, the maximum profit that I can make is 12. But the moment if I pick the first item, second item, then you cannot pick the first item. Only one of the items should be picked. So you basically end up picking the maximum of I minus 1 comma j, which is if I include the second item, then the maximum profit that I get will be 10. After that you cannot pick anything, so it will be maximum of 10 and 12, so which is 12. So now if I come to the second case, the where the weight of the knapsack is 3. So what we are saying is that so if I am allowed to pick the second item, right? So if I don't pick the second item, so then I am allowed to pick only the first item. In that case, the maximum profit that I can make is 12. So we have 12, right? So if I just ignore the second item, the maximum profit that I can make is straight away given by the table, which is V of I minus 1 comma j. But if I have decided to pick the second item, so I straight away make a profit of 10. After that, what we have to see is that we have to see how much profit that I can make using the first item, but the size of the knapsack that is left to me is 3 minus 1, because the weight of the second item is 1. So the size of the knapsack that is given to me is 3 minus 1, which is 2. So I have to look at the table V of 1 comma 2. So V of 1 comma 2 is 12. So if I decide to pick the second item, then I can also pick the first item, right? So the profit that I am going to get is 10 plus 12, which is 22. So our algorithm will pick the maximum of 12 and 10 plus 12, which is 22, right? So which is 12. The maximum of 12 and 22 is 22. So our algorithm will pick the max, which is 22. Once it is 22, then it doesn't matter what, even if you are given a size of the knapsack which is bigger than 3, then you can only make the maximum profit as 22, because you have already picked 2 items. So continuing to fill this table, you get the table as shown in the diagram. Okay, so let's quickly do one example. So how did we get this 58? Right. So in order to get 58, so what we are trying to compute is V of 4 comma 3. V of 4 comma 3 comes from two values, right? If you just ignore the fourth item, then you have to fill the entire knapsack with only the first 3 items. From the table, it's clear, we can see that if I ignore the fourth item, the maximum profit that I can make is 43, right? So 43. If I decide to pick the fourth item, then I make a profit of value 15. Okay, so but that will occupy a value of 2, right? So if I decide to pick the fourth item, then I will be left with a knapsack of size 6, and I have to pick from the first 3 items. The value that it corresponds to is again, which is written here, which is V of 3 comma, so I will write here, which is V of 3 comma 6. But V of 3 comma 6 is from the diagram is again 43, right? So which is we will write it as 43, which is equal to 15 plus 43, which is 58. So our algorithm will end up picking the maximum of 43 and 58, which is 58, right? So when you consider the fourth item, if you ignore the fourth item, then the maximum profit that you can make is 43. But if you decide to pick the fourth item, then from the remaining 3 items, you can fill the knapsack by using a knapsack size 6. So what we have seen in this table is that you can make a profit of 43. Let's look at one more example. So how do we get this for 37 here? If I am given a knapsack of size 5, what this actually tells you is that if I use all the 4 cases, I get a profit of 37. So this is got obtained by the maximum of 33, which is V of I minus 1 comma 5, or so if I decide to pick this item, then I have to go back 2 steps before in the previous row. So what I get is 22. This is because the weight of the fourth item is 2. So 22 plus 15 is 37. Our algorithm will pick the maximum of 33 and 37, which is 37. So our algorithm will end up picking 37. So if you have to look at the implementation of this, this is easy to implement. So as said earlier, you will. So let's look at the code for it. Before I begin, I think it's always easy to understand by writing this example that I wrote. So what happens if I pick the item, and what happens if I don't pick the ith item? Okay, so we will initialize for the values of I is equal to 0. So in the program, so the indices are going from 0 to n minus 1. So the items are indexed from 0 to n minus 1. The j is actually going from 0 to w, right, so which is the weight of the knapsack. So what I have here is T of I comma j. T of I comma j will keep track of the maximum profit that I can make if I am allowed to pick only from the first I items and I am given a knapsack of size j. So we have already discussed how to initialize this for I is equal to 1, and for a different values of j, you know how to initialize. Once the initialization is done, for I is equal to 1 to n and j is equal to 1 to w plus 1. So what you do is that whether choosing the ith item is beneficial to me, right. So if I have to choose the ith item, the size of the item that is given to me should be smaller than the weight of the knapsack that is given to me. The weight of the ith item should be smaller than or equal to the weight of the knapsack, which is j, so that I can, if I pick this item, this will fit into the knapsack. And profit that I make, so the P of I is the profit that I make here. This should be and profit that I make, if I pick the ith item, the profit that I make, let us say, is P of I. Remaining items that I have to pick will be from T of I minus 1 comma j of wi, right. So in this program, the weight of the items are P of I, and the profits are P of I, and the weight of the items are given by wi. So if I decide to pick the ith item, then the profit that I get is P of I, and remaining items has to be filled by the j minus wi, because the weight of the ith item is wi. If this is bigger than T of I minus 1 comma j, that means the T of I comma 1 j will not consider the ith item. So if this is beneficial to me, if I am allowed to pick the jth item, and the profit that I get after I pick the jth item is greater than the case where I ignore the ith item, then T of I comma j will be set as P of I plus T of I minus 1 comma j of wi. If this equation is if this condition is false, then either the item that I am considering cannot be fitted into the knapsack, or picking that item is not beneficial to me. In that case, I just set my T of I comma j is equal to T of I minus 1 comma j. So it is easy to say that the complexity of this algorithm is theta of n into capital W. So where n is the number of items that are given to me, and W is the size of the knapsack. So and we also need a space of order n into W to store the table T of I comma j, which is shown in the diagram here. So now, as seen earlier, we can also do the backtracking to figure out which are all the items that I need to pick, so that I get a profit of T of. So what's the maximum profit that I can get here? The maximum profit that I can get here is T of n minus 1 comma W will be the maximum profit that I can make if I am given a knapsack size W. So if you want to figure out what are all the items that you need to pick, so what you do as earlier is that you start with the last column, right. So the last entry, so I is equal to n minus 1 and j is equal to w, right. So this is the maximum profit that I can make if I am given I items and I am given a knapsack as w. So I ask the question whether this entry has come from the previous entry, right. So if T of I comma j is equal to T of I minus 1 comma j, right. So then I know that I have not used the ith item. I have used the ith item only when T of I comma j is not equal to T of I minus 1 comma j. If this T of I comma j is not equal to T of I minus 1 comma j, that means that I have used the ith item. I remember that x of I will be incremented to 1 here. Initialize, we will initialize x of I to be 0 for all the values of I, and when this condition is true, it essentially implies that we have picked the ith item, right. So and update our j to be j minus wi. Irrespective of whether you pick the ith item or not, so the I will be incremented by 1 all the time. And at the end, if the maximum profit that I can make for a value of j is greater than 0, that means that I have picked the first item. In that case, I set my x of 0 to be 1. Let's quickly look at one example where the backtracking actually works. Let's look at the table, and let's say that if I had to see what is the maximum profit that I can make if I am given an knapsack size 7. What we see here is that the 48 is the maximum profit that I can make if I am given a knapsack of size uh, 7. So I ask the question whether the T of I comma j is equal to the previous entry, so which is just above this entry, right. So if this is equal to this, that means that I have not used the ith item, but in this case it is not equal, which essentially means that I have used the ith item. So we will remember that the fourth item has been picked. So now I becomes I minus 1 and the j becomes j minus the weight of this item, which is 2, right. So I will, in the next iteration, I will be looking at j is equal to 2, so I will come to 5 here. So the value that I am looking at is 33, and 33 is again not equal to 22. So that means that I have picked the third item as well. Okay. So the weight of the third item is 3. So I have to, in the next iteration, I have to go back 5 minus 3, which is 2. So we have to go to the entry which is 12 here, which is I am allowed to use only the first two items. Every time I will be decremented depending on whether you pick the jth item or not. The j will be decreased equal to j is equal to j minus the weight of the ith item, right. So the 12 is again is equal to 12 here, which is just the above entry. You have to just look at the above entry. If it is equal, that means that you have not used the second item, right. So you have not used the second item. So the I comes here. So this is a value which is greater than 0. So that means that I have picked the first item. So the profit that you make if I am given a knapsack of size 7 is you have picked the first, you have ignored the second item, but you have picked the first, third and fourth items. If you add them up, so you get that the profit that you can make is 12 plus 10 plus so 12 plus 21 plus 15, which happens to be 48, and the weight of the knapsack, so weight of the knapsack that is required if you add up the first, third and fourth item is exactly equal to 7. 2 plus 3 plus 2, which is 7. So by using this backtracking technique, we can figure out what are all the items that are required to fill the table. See if the so the complexity of this algorithm is order n into w. So as seen earlier, if you are just interested in knowing what is the maximum profit that you want to that you can make, but you are not actually interested in figuring out which are the items that you want to pick. So this can be done. In this case, we can make the algorithm little more efficient by using a two-dimensional array instead of a n-dimensional array. So the idea is exactly same as before. So what the main idea here is that in order to fill the next entry, so what we actually want is only the previous row, right. So we started with the first row, right. So that which is initialized based on the weight of the first item, and then we write the second item. So the second row value will only depend on the first value. So when I have to fill the third value, third row, the value of the third row will only depend on the value in the second row. It does not depend on anything before. So I do not need to remember the first row that I have. So I can go back and overwrite on the the first row. So instead of having n rows, what we have is the only 2 rows. The first row is initialized as 0 and the second row is written on this. When you want to write the third one, you go back and so this is the 0th one, this is the first one. When you want to write the second one, you go back and overwrite the first one, because that's again not required. So once you update this one, then the next one will be updated alternatively. So the way to do is that you just keep track of I percentile 2, and so the I percentile 2 is updated looking at I minus 1 percentile 2. So the equations and the other logic here will remain the same. So this if you have to implement this, the complexity of the algorithm will be, time complexity of the algorithm is again going to be order n into w. This is the time required. But so since I am only using a one dimensional array here, the amount of space that I need is order w, right? So which is not which is independent of n. So if I am say if I am not interested in looking at what are the items that I need to pick, then order w space is enough, but the algorithm time complexity of the algorithm is still order n into w. But if you want to know what are the items that you need to pick in order to make the maximum profit, then you need order n into time and space algorithm. So what is the problem with this algorithm? Why is this not polynomial time? So what could happen is that this w can be a very large number, right? For example, w can be 10 to the power 15, right? So the weight of the items that are, the size of the knapsack could be of size 10 to the power 15. So if I have to implement this dynamic programming variant of the variant, then I need a space of 10 to the power 15, which I don't have. If w is really large, then I cannot use this algorithm. So if the W is small, but the profit, if the W is large, um, if the this algorithm can be used when W is very small compared to n, right? So if you can afford it, order W space and order n into W time, we can use this algorithm. But whereas if the W is very large, then this algorithm cannot be used. Let us ask the question, if the W is very large, but the sum of the profits are very small, right? So the W's that are given to me has large values, but the profits that are given to me have small values. So in that case, can I write a dynamic programming formulation so that the equations, the time complexity of the algorithm depends on P. So what is given? The size of the knapsack that is given to me, that is capital W, this is a very large number, right? So this is a very large number, but let us say that the P, which is the sum of the profits of the items that is given to me, this is a small number, right? So I am okay if the time complexity of the algorithm depends on P because that is smaller, but it should not depend on W. So can we flip the dynamic programming formulation and think of an algorithm which depends on, whose complexity depends on P, not on W. So here is the formulation. The most important thing is to say what is the state, how do you define the table, and once you define the table, then we have to give how to update this table. So once it's done, then the rest of the story will be remain same. So let's define the state of the dynamic programming in this case as W of I comma j is the minimum size knapsack required to make a profit of at least j using the first I items. So here I am allowed to consider the first I items, but I am asking the question whether I can make a profit of at least j, right? So I want to know what is the minimum size knapsack that is required if I have to make a profit of j, at least j, using the first I items. Okay. So we will fill the table. So how do you fill the first table, first row in the table? So if W of, if I have to consider only the first item, and if I have to make a profit of j, if j is very large, right? So if j is greater than the v of 1, so if j is greater than v of 1, so if you are given only one item, either you pick it or you do not pick it, right? So if j is very large, you want to make very large profit compared to the profit that you can make out of the first item, then you can, it is not possible. So the size of the knapsack that is really required is infinity. Otherwise, if j is smaller than or equal to, I will write it as otherwise, if j is smaller than or equal to v of I, then I can pick that item. So if I pick that item, the size of the knapsack that is required is W1, right? So if I have to make a profit which is smaller than or equal to the profit that I can make out of the first item, that is j is smaller than or equal to V of 1, then the answer is Wi. But if it is very large, then it's infinity. So the table that I'm going to fill will be the first row. So the first row, the first few entries will be W1. After that, it will have a value of infinity, right? So we will fill this table. So the question is, how do you fill the table? So if you have to decide how to fill the table, then the logic is exactly the same as before what we have discussed. If in the ith iteration, we just ask the question whether you want to pick the ith item or not pick the ith item. Let's consider the case I pick the ith item. If I pick the ith item, then the size of the knapsack that is given that is required to fit in is W1. So in the next iterations, I have to make a profit using only the first I minus 1 items. But the profit that I get out of if I pick this ith item is V of I, right? So this is Wi. So this is not W1, this is Wi. V of I, J minus V of I. So if I pick the ith item, the size of the knapsack that is required is Wi, and in the remaining iterations, I can use the I minus 1 items. But I have already made a profit of V of I by picking this. So in the rest of the iterations, I have to make a profit of J minus V of I. If I don't pick the ith item, if I do not pick the ith item, then the equation that I get will be W of I minus 1 comma J. So I am looking at what is the minimum size knapsack that is required. So out of these two options, I'll pick the option which will have the a minimum value. So the W of I comma J in this example. So from what we have understood here, so what we are going to write here is so the equation that I am going to get here will be W of I comma J will be minimum of so two quantities. So that is W of I minus 1 comma J if I decide not to pick the ith item. If I pick the ith item, then it will occupy a space of Wi. Then the rest of the profit that I want to make can be made by looking at I minus 1 items, and I have to make a profit of J minus V of I. So whichever is the minimum, the second option is available only if J is greater than V of I, right? So if I have to make a profit which is bigger than J, then it's not possible, right? So if J is greater than V of I, the second option is available. You can pick the ith item and make so much of profit, right? So this is the equation that we get. So in order to implement this, so what we do is that let's say the P is the sum of all the profits. So we build a table of size n into k, right? So the time required to build this is order n into p as seen earlier, and it also requires a space of order n into p. So if you look at this table, so or the W of n comma p will tell you what is the minimum size knapsack that is required to make a profit of p, right? So so this will not, so but what is given to us is a W. Given a value of W, then we want to figure out what is the maximum profit that we can make. So what we do is that we start with a J which is initially equal to P, which is the maximum profit. Then as long as we are in the last row, as long as the T of I comma J is greater than W, right? So that means that I can make so much of profit with W as a value. I keep decrementing my J, right? I start with J is equal to P and I is equal to N, and as long as my T of I comma J is greater than W, I decrement by J. I stop the first time when T of I comma J becomes smaller than W. That means that if I go below this, then the size of the knapsack that is required is smaller than W. So I look at the smallest J such that T of I comma J, where I is n minus 1, is greater than W. I find out a J such that Tfi comma J is greater than W. That is the minimum size of the knapsack that is required is greater than this. That is the particular value of J. So the moment I see a size of the knapsack which is smaller than this, which is required, right? So what we do is, so I start with our J to be equal to P. So while the W of the n, right? So I am allowed to use all the n items, comma J. As long as this I is greater than W, so what we want to do is that we'll do J minus minus. Okay, so if the minimum size of the knapsack that is required is greater than W, then we will decrease the value of J. The first time when I say that W of n comma J is smaller than or equal to W, then if I am given a size of the knapsack which is W, then I can make a profit of J, right. So once you fill this table, we using a table of size n into P, you set the J is equal to P, you will try to make the maximum possible profit. Then while W of n comma P is greater than W, you decrement your J. The first time when you see a number W of n comma J which is smaller than or equal to W, you stop. That is the particular value of J which is the answer, right, which is the maximum profit that you can make if you are given a size of the knapsack which is W. So the notice that if P is small, the size of the knapsack, size of the table that we are going to build is order n into P, and the time complexity of the algorithm is n into W, n into P in this case. If the sum of the profits is a small number, then you can use this variant of the dynamic programming. If the W value, the size of the knapsack that is given to us is small, then we can use the previous formulation of the dynamic programming. If both W and P are very large numbers, then we cannot use either of the dynamic programming formulations. That's why in general case, the 0-1 knapsack problem is an NP-hard problem, right? So it's a hard problem to solve. So that's all we have for this video. In the next class, we will come back to more examples of problems which can be solved using dynamic programming.